How's it going, everyone? We've been doing a lot of videos covering digital deals as we always do, but I know some of you guys are looking for those physical game deals, so I've got you covered in this video. We've got a lot of deals, including one of 2024's most discussed games, very quickly hitting the bargain bin. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it for sure. We also have some free DLC on PSN, some free content. We'll talk that briefly at the end of this video, but we'll get to that in a little bit. And again, let's get right into the deals, the physical game deals. I'd be remiss if I don't mention Dragon Age the Veilguard. Came out back on October 31st, I believe it was. Yeah, it was Halloween Day, right? So it literally came out 3 months ago. Is it 20% off? No. 30% off? No. 40% off? No. 50% off? No. 60% off? No. 64% off for $25. This is one of the quicker price reductions that I've seen in a long, and I mean a long time, and I would be remiss if I did not bring up the fact that we heard about the sales figures, or the player figure rather. This game had a total of 1.5 million players, and I do think that number is a little bit misleading, given that, does that include people that bought the game on Steam and then refunded the game? Does that include people that played the game? That does obviously include people that played the game via EA Play or whatever, but yeah, it's probably a little bit less than 1.5 million as far as actual sales, and I would imagine, actually EA said as much, that they were looking at 3 million players, so you know, the game underperformed by about 50%. I mean, anybody with a functioning brain cell could have realized that there were some issues leading up to the anticipation of this game, and it was very obvious. Listen, I don't need to get down that diatribe right now, but I look at a game like Dragon Age the Veilguard, it was obvious to me that this game was going to underperform commercially, and might be a little bit pushing the cart before the horse a little bit too much, but we'll see how Intergalactic does, and I feel like that game is going to underperform commercially. But I do feel like the industry in totality is going in a little bit of a course-correcting mode. Maybe course-correcting to you isn't the right term, but just the way they design games being altered a little bit to tailor them for potential commercial success. Let's just put it that way, and, you know, people can say what they want. I don't think in a world where Dragon Age the Veilguard was a home run critical and commercial success that the game would be down to $25. Now, as far as the game itself goes, is it worth $25? Honestly, I wouldn't say it is. I would say it's a game that you should probably spend $15 to $20 at most on. I actually did like some of the combat mechanics to this game. I thought it was enjoyable. Obviously, I mean, I would be a broken record, but narratively, it's really bad. Dialogue is garbage. Writing is pretty bad. Those elements of the game are really weak, and BioWare certainly needs to have a home run with Mass Effect. But based on the fact that you look at some of those people that are working on this next Mass Effect game, it's not going to come out for a very long time, hopefully 2029, 2030, around that range, but they got the writer of Deus Ex Human Revolution on board. They've got industry veterans that worked on the original trilogy. Okay, BioWare might be washed. BioWare's recent outings might have been terrible, but the team they're amassing to create that Mass Effect game, which is in pre-production right now, that does make me a little bit optimistic. At least it doesn't fuel me with just immense pessimism, but as far as Veilguard goes, yes, it was a huge L. I do think it's pretty funny that it's $25 right now, and if you want to check it out, hey, it's the #1 bestseller in PlayStation 5 games on Amazon right now, so take that for what you will. That's not bad, obviously due to the heavy discount, but hey, obviously selling some copies. Sonic Frontiers is 55% off for $17.97. Great deal on Sonic Frontiers. For a little while, this game got its price jacked up digitally, and I think that's because the movie was coming out and it was just, people were anticipating it, but it went up all the way to $36. The digital deluxe edition, I think, is like $25 right now, but the base game here is all you really need. 18 bucks on this is great. I really like Sonic Frontiers. Thought the soundtrack was great. Thought the level design was really well done. The gameplay and the combat, yeah, that can evolve a little bit, but I think Sega has a phenomenal foundation for what the major Sonic games could be going into the future, and it really does feel like they are trying to annualize Sonic as an IP, which makes a ton of sense. And if I had to structure it, this is how I would do it. You got Sonic Frontiers, again, that's $18, go buy that, but the future of Sonic, you have the Sonic Racing game coming out this year. I don't think we're gonna get Frontiers 2 this year, but Frontiers 2 in 2026, fall of 2026, a few months prior to the release of Sonic Movie 4, think that just makes all the sense in the world. Sonic Movie 4 is supposed to come out in 2027, I believe, early 27. You get Frontiers 2 out in late 26, and man, the Sonic franchise as an IP, I think, will be booming by then, and a lot of interest will be had. But that's how I think I would structure it, and I think it makes all the sense in the world for Sega to at least have a tentative plan to work it out that way. Frontiers was awesome. Definitely for this price point, I would recommend it. Assassin's Creed Mirage, the launch edition, is $19.99. I think AC Mirage is a solid game. It's a smaller scale Assassin's Creed title. I wouldn't say it's really a callback to the Assassin's Creed games that I really enjoyed, but as far as being a scaled down Assassin's Creed game, and that is something that I totally got behind, because I think the Assassin's Creed games these days are just a little bit too big. But yeah, $19.99 I think is the perfect price point. I had fun with it. It's not a super lengthy game, 15 to 20 hours, but that was perfect get in, get out kind of experience, which I thought worked well. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, the Arcade Classics, 40% off for $29.83. Awesome deal for this. You've got a lot of classic games, obviously, with MVC2 being the highlight for a lot of people. You've got rollback netcode as well for a smooth and enjoyable experience. Y'all know me, I don't get super technical and nuanced in these fighting games anymore. I'm a bit old and washed up for that at this stage of the game, but you know, for this price point at $29.83, I think this is a great collection, and I would strongly recommend it. MVC2 is a game that I played growing up, so obviously this was going to be something I checked out. I played MVC2 a lot when it came out as a digital PlayStation 3 game. Y'all know me, I was a fiend on the PS3 playing like everything that came out, but yeah, so I was a little bit late to the game as far as checking out MVC2. Wasn't super into fighting games, you know, when I was really young on PS1 and PS2, but had fun with MVC2, and yeah, a lot of titles here and a lot of classics, a lot of nostalgia to be had for sure. Kingdom Hearts all-in-one package is $34.40. It's like 40 bucks on the PlayStation Store right now, so a little bit cheaper here. You get 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, and Kingdom Hearts 3. All you're missing is the Remind DLC, so a lot of great stuff here for sure, and worthwhile to check that out. And I said it before, but Kingdom Hearts 1 I feel like has aged horrifically. Still a good game, and I can't even say it's a good game. It's a worthwhile game to go through based on the fact that nostalgia carried me, but if I had to be honest with myself, if I were to go back and play that game and nostalgia wasn't carrying me, do I think I would have made it to the end? I don't think so. I think I would have dropped it, but nonetheless, a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that, and Kingdom Hearts 2 and Birth by Sleep are so good. But, yeah, KH1 just is quite dated, in my opinion. But that opinion seems to always get me in hot water, so, you know, take it for what you will. Red Dead Redemption 1, $25 on that. Again, a game that's $30 on the PlayStation Store right now. A little bit cheaper for the physical copy. RDR1 to me is an absolute classic. Love the game, even if it is almost 15 years old at this point. It came out, I believe, in May of 2010. You get Undead Nightmare here, and it's still a phenomenal game. Definitely give that a look at 25 bucks. Good price on that. Then we got a couple of other deals from Best Buy to round it out. Dead Space Remake has had a price drop. It is now $19.99. Solid remake. Enjoyed that quite a bit. Unfortunately, Dead Space probably gonna get shelved. And hey, if I crop on Dragon Age Veilguard for its sales numbers, Dead Space also didn't do that well commercially either, you know? It is what it is. I think a $70 remake is a little bit expensive for a game that, you know, wasn't a commercial juggernaut back in the day in 2008, but man, I just feel like Dead Space has more to give, but it is what it is. This remake was really well done. $19.99 for that is great. And then I'll give a shout out to College Football 25. Look, I have no care in the world for football games whatsoever, but all my friends that are into football games, College Football 25 seems to be one that they all rave about. You know, when I'm talking to my friends and they're telling me about the yearly sports games that they're into, I gotta feign a level of interest. You know, they're just rambling about College Football 25, and I'm just like, oh, bro, tell me about it. And they go on and on about how great this game is. So, you know, from that standpoint, I'll give it a shout. I'm hoping the Chiefs, you know, I'm kind of hoping the Chiefs take the L this year on the Super Bowl. Like, the three-peat's gonna be kind of wild. And you know what, the underdog story is always kind of cool. But yeah, that's my very little knowledge of football and me making my Super Bowl picks. I'll go with the Eagles this year. I don't know. And lastly, I'll give a shout to EA Sports UFC 5. Only want to give this a mention because it's $35 right now in the PlayStation Store, which I thought was absolutely egregious. But $25 for UFC 5, I think, is a much better pickup and more reasonable. So thought I would give that a mention. And then lastly, for the free content, God of War Ragnarok, starting today, the Armor of the Black Bear set and the transmog system will be available free for all PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 players. This was in the past locked behind New Game Plus. I believe they're doing this because they're doing a new initiative on PC where they want to offer some benefits to people for linking their PSN accounts but not making it mandatory, so this is the benefit on there as well. But this free piece of content rolling out right now, and then it's all available early on for you to check out if you do want to utilize that. But that is going to do it for me. Again, didn't mean to go on a bit of a tangent on Veilguard, but I think that game being down to $25 already is kind of wild, but you take it however you want. Have we seen games be commercially successful and hit the bargain bin fairly quickly? Yeah, particularly Ubisoft games, and like Assassin's Creed games in particular have gone on sale. Not this steep of a discount though. Usually they'll go to like 50% off fairly quickly, but 64% off, and bear in mind that Assassin's Creed is a little bit different where those games have a lot of in-game microtransactions. Dragon Age of the Veilguard isn't really that. And I bring that up because there is that element of just getting the game in players' hands so you can make money off of them, off of DLC and microtransactions. Veilguard isn't designed in that way, and it's still heavily discounted like this. I think that should tell you something, if nothing else. It's a decent pickup, all things considered, but I would wait for $15 to $20. And then some other good deals. The Sonic Frontiers deal, I think, is great. Assassin's Creed Mirage. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. That's an awesome deal. Low-key banger there, and a lot of great stuff all around. Links to everything in the description box below. That's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.